The movie starts with a man named Kent running from three cowboys named Ketchum, Stillwell, and Dugan. Kent keeps running until he gets shot and falls down. Ketchum then approaches him to ask about his friend. When Kent refuses to answer, Ketchum ties a rope around his neck and Dugan drags him with a horse. Kent tries to reveal his friend's location because he can't stand the pain anymore. However, Ketchum kills him anyway by hanging him with the rope. Next, we meet William Henry McCarty, a simple farmer. He lives in a remote part of Oklahoma with his son, Wyatt. Henry's wife died a long time ago and is buried near their house. Every morning, Henry, Wyatt, and Henry's brother-in-law Al take care of the cattle and fields together. While working, Wyatt asks Henry why they live so far from others and only work as farmers. Henry explains that the government allowed people to claim land far from the city if they lived there for a year. That's why he decided to move there. Soon after, they see a white horse with blood on its saddle. Henry tells Wyatt to put the horse in the stable while he looks around for its owner. Not finding anyone nearby, Henry rides out to search further. He finds a dead man in a brown jacket with a gunshot wound on his chest and a bag full of money. Henry initially decides to leave the man, but then changes his mind, thinking the man might still be saved. He takes the man and his belongings back to his house and erases his tracks to avoid suspicion. At home, Wyatt helps Henry move the injured man inside to treat him. Wyatt thinks the man might be a criminal, but Henry tells him not to jump to conclusions until the man wakes up. Henry hides the man's valuables in a secret place, and Wyatt sees him do it. The next day, Henry tied the unconscious man to the bed. He told Wyatt to watch over the man while he went out to take care of something he couldn't explain. After Henry left, Wyatt went to the secret place his father used last night. Wyatt opened his father's closet and found a lot of money and the man's gun. He took the gun and tried shooting it outside the house. Meanwhile, the man had a dream about his childhood, where he saw a criminal get shot. Henry went back to the place where the man was shot, looking for clues. From a distance, he saw three cowboys checking the area. Henry tied his horse to a tree and secretly followed them. Stillwell said that the person they killed yesterday had been taken by someone good at hiding tracks. Then, Stillwell heard a noise from the bushes and told his friends to check it out. Henry shot his gun to distract them and then ran away. In the yard, Wyatt was practicing shooting a bottle with the man's gun. After hitting the bottle, he put the gun back in his father's cupboard. While doing that, he found a big box with another gun, bullets, and some newspapers. He then heard a noise from the man's room and quickly put everything back to check on the man. Wyatt saw that the man was awake and had untied himself. The man attacked Wyatt, but Henry came in time to stop him. Henry kicked and beat the man until he passed out, then tied him to a chair. Henry woke the man with a bottle of scented oil. When the man woke up, Henry used a knife to remove the bullet from his body while asking about his identity. The man said he was a police officer but didn't answer questions about the money. Soon, Henry saw the three cowboys coming to his house. He told Wyatt to stay away from the window and went out to meet them with a gun. Outside, Ketchum claimed they were Wood County sheriffs looking for a fugitive named Curry. Henry didn't say anything because he didn't know if it was true. He said he lived alone and his wife died 10 years ago. Ketchum saw McCarty's name on Henry's wife's gravestone. He asked if Henry was related to an old criminal from Arizona with the same name. Henry said he was alone because all his brothers had died. Before leaving, Ketchum warned him to be careful of Curry because he was dangerous. When Henry checked Curry's gun, he found it empty. He realized that Wyatt had secretly used it. This made Henry very angry, and he slapped Wyatt because he didn't want his son to handle weapons like guns or knives. Wyatt, feeling frustrated, yelled at his father, calling him a stupid old man, and stormed off. Meanwhile, Curry told Henry that the three cowboys were robbers who had looted the Adam Express train. He and Kent had chased them and killed two gang members, but things went wrong. Kent was killed, and Curry took Ketchum's bag. Curry ran but was shot by Ketchum and fell. Henry asked why Curry didn't hand the bag with the money to the police, but Curry didn't answer. Dugan discovered that Curry was in Henry's house. Ketchum considered shooting Henry but hesitated, thinking Henry might not be just a simple farmer because he handled the gun so well. Ketchum ordered Dugan to watch Henry's house while he and Stillwell went to find weapons and information about Henry from Al. That evening, Henry fed Curry and asked about his life. Curry shared his story of being a sheriff and growing up in New Mexico. He remembered seeing Billy the Kid, a legendary criminal, get killed by Peter Maxwell, a friend of his. Billy was shot twice in the chest and bled to death. Curry recalled Billy's last words, asking him to lower his head to stay safe. After hearing Curry's story, Henry gave Curry his gun and told him to escape that night. When Henry was about to take Curry's bag, Dugan started shooting at Henry's house. In the chaos, Wyatt was hit by a bullet, and Curry fainted because his wounds reopened. Henry realized Dugan was hiding in the basement and prepared to confront him. Henry dropped a book on the floor above Dugan and then took a shotgun to hunt Dugan down without panicking. He found Dugan's hiding spot, captured him, and demanded to know where his friends were. When Dugan refused to talk, Henry killed him and threw his body into the pigsty. Henry noticed a robber symbol on Dugan's arm. Afterward, Henry treated Wyatt's wound. Wyatt asked his father about his true identity, having seen clues and his father's skill in dealing with criminals. Henry simply said that before he met his wife, he had done some bad things. The next day, Ketchum and Stillwell tried to get information about Henry from Al when Al resisted. Stillwell beat him until he passed out and then tortured him. Later, Ketchum and his gang brought the badly injured Al to Henry's house. Ketchum promised to let Henry, Wyatt, and Al go if they handed over Curry and the money. Henry refused. In response, Ketchum showed Henry the severely injured Al. Inside the house, Henry grabbed his shotgun and gave Wyatt a gun for protection. Without fear, Henry went out and threatened to kill them if they didn't leave and release Al. Ketchum and his gang laughed at Henry, outnumbering him. Ketchum then shot Al in the forehead, killing him. Wyatt impulsively attacked them, but Henry threw him back into the house to keep him safe. Henry scolded Wyatt for being rash and told him to keep his head down to stay safe. Curry remembered what Billy the Kid had told him as a child when he heard Henry's words. He realized that Billy the Kid was still alive and had changed his name to William Henry McCarty, adopting the surname McCarty from his wife. Henry, armed with weapons he got from the city, confidently left the house. He skillfully shot the robbers, killing 8 of them. Unfortunately, Ketchum survived and escaped. Henry chased Ketchum into the forest, where they exchanged gunfire. Henry managed to kill Ketchum but was shot in the back. When Henry returned home, he asked Wyatt to prepare water and cloth for the injured Curry. Henry planned to call a doctor. However, when Henry tore off Curry's shirt to treat him, he saw the same marks as Dugan's. Suddenly, Curry shot Henry. The symbol was a sign of an agreement between Curry and Ketchum. Curry had told the truth about being a sheriff, but was also involved in the Adam Express train robbery. He and Ketchum's gang fought over the money, leading to Kent's death at the hands of Ketchum's gang. Curry didn't give the money to the police because he and his friends were the officers involved in the crime. Curry was also grateful that Henry saved him, but he didn't want to miss the chance to kill the legendary Billy the Kid. As he was about to shoot Henry again, Wyatt shot him first with his father's shotgun. Wyatt then went to his father, who was getting weaker with 3 bullets in his body. Henry told Wyatt that after his death, Wyatt would learn about his true identity. Henry expressed his gratitude for having a son like Wyatt, who stayed with him until the end. He hoped Wyatt would find his own path. With these words, the legendary William Henry McCarty died. Wyatt was devastated by his father's death. He buried Henry next to his mother's grave. After that, he packed his things, ready to leave the house and start a new life. The film ends. So the moral of the story is, if you find a bag of money and a wounded man in the wilderness, just remember, being a good Samaritan might land you in a shootout with outlaws. Uncovering secret identities and discovering your dad was an infamous criminal legend. Maybe stick to farming.